Thank you, Tiffany. Simon Sinek once said, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'll start with a question, as always. Have you guys ever led a team where every member was completely different, from culture to background to personality, and yet you had to bring them all together to achieve a common goal? That was the challenge I faced during my master's program, my last master's program. Our assignment was simple in theory, but very complex. Well, complex in execution. We were to create a program that would benefit our department. It sounds straightforward, right? But until I met the people in my team that I was supposed to lead. So I had a software developer from China. I'm sorry, from India. The software developer was from Indian. A PhD holder that was an analytical researcher from China, and also somebody, a Canadian who was a marketer, that was very, very outspoken then. And then there was me, Ehiz, still trying to find my voice and trying to find my footing. And, it felt like I was in a symphony of competing ideas, at that time. So from the very first meeting we had, I knew that clear communication would be the foundation of our success. So I started by creating a space where everyone felt heard. I started by asking open-ended questions. I was encouraging input, and I also made sure that no voice dominated the discussion. And by doing this, we built affiliation, a sense of belonging and shared purpose. And everyone began to see that they weren't just part of a project, but they were part of a team. In our second week, I noticed that each team members worked differently. Some preferred to brainstorm together, while others just wanted to be by themselves. They thrived in that kind of work situation. So I made it a point to recognize each person's strengths and weakness. I didn't really see a lot, at that time. So I'd say things like, your research really helped us shape the direction of our project, right? Or took us to a step closer to our goals. And this little act of recognition motivated them to even want to give more of themselves to the project. Because I realized that people don't just like to work for results, they also like to be seen. Next, I focused on achievements. So I broke down the project into smaller and clearer milestones, and each one with measurable outcomes, right? This approach gave everybody a sense of progress, to know where we're at every milestone. So we're able to celebrate. And even if it was just like small group messages like, we're closer, we're getting to our goals, that gave a sense of achievement that kept the momentum alive and made the project feel meaningful. So now, one thing I learned about motivation is that everybody also desires status, to feel important or value in their own way, right? So I did this thing. I assigned little leadership roles. One person was handling communication, the other was doing the research, and the last person was doing the PowerPoint designs. So by giving each person ownership, I saw the confidence bloom. Suddenly, everybody, when just working together, we're actually leading along each other, side of me, if you will. I didn't want to see myself as a leader by then. So as the deadline approached, I noticed something beautiful happen, right? We stopped being 4 individuals and we became one cohesive team. And our final presentation wasn't perfect, but it was very powerful. We created a mentorship program for new graduate students, and our department later adopted it officially. I think I got this information 1 year after we left the program. So that day, the presentation day, I saw the power of communication, recognition, achievements, status and affiliation. Yes, not as management theories, but as a real tool to transform people. So this experience taught me that motivation is not just about pushing people, it's about inspiring them to push themselves. So when we recognize others, they rise. When we give them purpose, they perform. And when we build trust, they thrive. So if you ever find yourself leading a team, filled with difference in culture, difference in background, difference in language, difference in skin tone, whatever difference you find, right? Remember, it's not just about the diversity that divides us, it's about the lack of understanding. But when we connect through empathy and motivate through purpose, the difference don't divide, they actually drive success. Back to you, Madam Toastmasters.